Greetings YouTubers and welcome to my world. We're back on the 2010 F-150 and today we're going to be replacing some brake rotors, some brake pads and all that good stuff on the front. Why? Because these things got a lot of grooves on both sides, and you can see on the top there it's pretty bad there, and it does shake a little bit when I hit the brakes and everything. So we're going to try to get this done today. And let's look at the other side here real quick. And finally got us a nice fall day in the 50s, so I'm not freezing to death out here. And you see these are pretty bad, so hopefully we can get these on, and shouldn't be too big of a deal. So I figure if some of you have a truck and you're thinking about doing this, maybe this will help you out, and you can do it if you just got some general tools. Now let's zip over here, and here are the rotors, and we're good. These were about $110 for both rotors, brake pads, and you can buy the optional clips. Actually, these optional clips with all of this was actually $135. And these are massive rotors. These are, what size tires do I have? I've forgotten already. I haven't been driving it too long. I believe these are 18-inch tires. Let me check. Yep, there we go. Yeah, we got 18-inch tires. So these are massive rotors and very heavy. So I got these, and first time I ordered them, the box was open and we had one rotor. Then I contacted the guy back on eBay, and I said, hey, you know, I only got one rotor. And I sent him a bunch of pictures and showed him the box came open. He says, oh, send you know. Okay, good deal. So I get 2 extra ones come in the mail, and now I have 1 extra one I can't use. But anyway, so we got these, and we're going to stick all this on here. Should be pretty straightforward. We're going ahead and get this wheel off over here, and I've got my tools kind of set up there, and we gotta get this wheel off here and see what we can get into. Hey, let me know where you're watching from right now. All right. Hey, so there is that. You can see all the grooves there. Boy, she's pretty bad. That's a big rotor, so let's get that off. But before we do that, let's get this little jack in here for safety. Catch things if something would happen. All right, so we gotta get these calipers off. These are 14mm bolts. Got one on the top here, and we got one way on the bottom. They usually come off pretty easy. If you had these off before, you know what I'm talking about. Let's get these off. All right, so there's the bottom one, and here comes the top one. Now right here, I don't know if you can see this, there's a place you can actually put a wrench. If this whole thing right here starts to spinning around on the inside here, just grab it with a wrench, and that's what it's really designed for. And that way, when you're taking this bolt out, get this whole thing spinning together, just put a wrench right here. So that is your tip of the day. So let's get this out. Sometimes you can just take a screwdriver and get in here and pry these back a little bit to loosen this up a little bit, and that usually helps a little bit. I just said a little bit 3 times, actually 4 times. Alright, so these come off pretty easy. Now, I've had these off before. If you live in the Northeast, you might have to fight with these because of the rust. And let's just kind of set this up on the top for now, because these calipers don't have a lot of room there, so that should be okay. And I just lost one. There's my old pad, and you can see, boy, a lot of grooves cut in that thing. And I don't even have any anti-rattle clips here, and these are actually in pretty good shape, so we'll keep these for backup. And now we gotta get this bracket here off, and there are some bolts in the back. These are 18mm nuts we gotta take out back here, and then this rotor will come off, and we can go from there. So I'm gonna turn the wheel here a little bit. All right, so we gotta get these on the bottom, and actually I lied. These are 22mm big old nuts, so these broke loose here. On the top there, push down on that one. There we go. Alright, so these seem to be coming loose fairly easy. That's great. Alright, so there's this one. I know, guys, there's no content here. If someone's Googling on how to do this, it'll come up in a search. Perhaps maybe 40 people will watch it, I don't know. But there's that one. These are like some big bolts. And we got one on the bottom here to get off. Sometimes you have to push on this rotor because it turns at an angle. If I can do this with one hand here. Doesn't have to be this difficult, but there we go. Alright, so there's that big old bracket. So we're going to clean that up and paint it, and there's that. And now we'll take our rotor off, and off it comes. Oh, gee. And there's a lot of anti-seize on here, and I would do the same thing if I were you. If you're going to do this, if you live in the Northeast, it makes a big difference when you go to break these guys here loose. Alright, so there you go, and look at those grooves, baby. A lot of them. These are, I think these are the factory ones, so out with the old end, in with the better, as I always say. Alright, you can see what I've been doing lately. I think just about every car I get has bad rotors. No one wants to put any money in their cars these days. They just throw their cars on Facebook Marketplace and say, hey, runs great, but needs brakes, needs a transmission, needs a rear end. You know what I'm talking about. Alright, let's see if we can get this big guy up on here. It's pretty heavy. I've cleaned this up as much as practical. This back splash plate here, it's got some small holes in it, but I spray painted it, cleaned it up a little bit. So that fits. I'm happy about that. We got the right part, and now we'll go ahead and bolt our caliper bracket on here. Once we get this on, then we'll put our little anti-rattle clips in here. I've cleaned this up also. I'll paint it real quick. Alright guys, we just about got this one tightened up. And we'll just snug these down for now. Now, rotor's in, everything's straight, and she looks really good. I'll have to clean all this off a little bit later, some brake clean, but should make a big difference in the way it feels when it stops anyway. Alright, so in this F-150, these little clips they give you, they go in like this. Yeah, a little bent curly part that goes on the outside. This little thin piece that goes straight down goes on the back side, because you wouldn't want this part going in too far because it'll hit the rotor. And you got to make sure all the rust is cleaned out of here, because if you don't, these are not going to go in. And I just spent 5 minutes cleaning the rust out. And look at that. Nice. Now we got to put 3 more in. Just so you know, just make sure that's nice and clean. That should work out good. But I think what I'm going to do is put some grease underneath of it, and a little bit of grease on the top. I don't have any more anti-seize, but I'm just going to use some heavy-duty grease. It'll be fine here in the Northeast where all the salt is, but that'll keep it from rusting and freezing up. Alright, how about that? We got all 4 clips on, and actually had some anti-seize I didn't know I had. So there we go, got that one on. And you see I got the top one on. And I got some on right there. So all 4 of these are on, and we're good. And now let's grab our painted, yes I said painted, I'm just like that, brake pads. Alright, so there's the back one. Now you can't see it, but nice and flush, looks really good. Now on the front, what's interesting about these clips, and these do not have squealers on them where they get down so far and they go wee wee when when your brakes get really low. These pads don't have it, and this truck don't have it on the front, which is kind of weird. But these clips are designed when you put your pad up there. Yeah, and I painted this. Looks good, don't it? That way I can look at it at a gas station when I'm getting gas and say, hey, I did that. And they just push in like this. You don't have to really fight around with them or anything. There we go. They go in like that. Of course, I got my paint job kind of messed up, but that's how those go in. That's pretty easy. Kind of nice to see that, and they won't be rattling around. Alright, so everything looks pretty good here. Nothing's in a bind, and we should have a pretty decent little stopping vehicle. So let's go ahead and get this caliper on. Alright, so we got our piston pushed all the way back with our tool J1655, or commonly known as a C-clamp. I just made that up. So those are back, so we should be able to get this on effortlessly with no problem. Alright, we'll go ahead and torque this last bolt. We're good. And just like that, my friends, we have a nice, shiny, slotted, drilled rotor with brand new brake pads and clips on the front, all for about $140. And you take this anywhere and let the dealer do it, or a garage, and they have to order the part. Guarantee it's going to be well over $500. So a little knowledge goes a long way. So make sure you clean all the anti-seize off of the rotor if you get any on there. And if you paint like me, get the paint off, make sure it's nice and clean. And there is a break-in period we'll talk about at the end of the video. A lot of people don't know about. So for now, we'll go ahead and put the wheel on and go ahead and do the other side. I'm not going to show you how to do the entire side, because obviously you know how to do it now. and eventually we'll take this out, but we'll come back when I'm just about done with the passenger side, see if we have any issues. All right, so on the passenger side, everything came off you know, fairly easy, no problems there. One thing I noticed about the brakes on this side in the rotor is that these have been wearing a little off to the side. Check that out. I'm not sure what was going on there, but one thing I like about these pads here in this one thing I like about the new rotors and pads that we're putting on is the pad covers the entire surface of the brake. These really did not, and you can see right here where they did not even make contact. Oh, and on the back, just horribly, just grooved. But that's one thing I noticed there. So hopefully these new slotted rotors and pads will take care of the problem on this side. All right, so we'll go ahead and clean this bracket up a little bit. We're going to put our clips on here and put some anti-seize before we bolt this up. It's a little bit easier to do it that way. That's probably what I would do if I were you. Save you a little time and hassle. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned up, put this on, and get the rotor on and finish this side up. All right, so those are in. We got anti-seize on them. We got to do is bolt this on. So good deal. How about that? I do okay work, I guess. So that is all done on this side. Everything went on perfectly. Everything's greased with anti-seize and all that. She turns freely, is what I'm trying to say. And I guess we'll put the wheel on it. We'll take it out and hit the brakes a few times and wrap this video up. So hopefully this will help you guys out if you want to do this. The challenge was keeping this rotor clean. I'll hit it with some brake clean one more time before we head down the road. So there you go, guys. All right, guys, everything's torqued. It's all together, and look how nice that looks. And one reason I like the paint is when you're doing an inspection, or if you have to take it somewhere and you got to get a state inspection, they're going to look at your brakes. Well, it's easy to see how much wear you have left on the pad there by painting them like that. So it's a good idea. A lot of times when they're black, with a lot of brake dust everywhere, it's kind of hard to see. And the same thing in the back there. So that's why I like to do that a lot. But other than that, man, how nice is that? If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a big old fat thumbs down. All right, let's take it for a ride. All right, guys, so I got the wheel back on. Everything's torqued and checked. Now, I did the other side over here too. Now, before you go to take off in this thing, or any vehicle, if you do this job, get in here and pump the brake a few times. Make sure you've got a full pedal, because if you don't, when you take off, your brake's going to go straight to the floor and you're going to freak out. So, there we go, we're back. All right, so we got a full pedal. And now we can go take this thing for a ride. All right, time looks good. And we gotta go back up to the 40 again. This is our last one. And there's 40. And look how nice she stops, man. No hands on the steering wheel. No shakes whatsoever. Man, that is nice. All right, stop it here. I did what they say to do. And we'll look at the wheels here. And she looks like she's probably broke in. So, made a big difference in the stopping, that's for sure. So, all right, everyone, so you see there, we are done. She stops great. So until my next video, guys, I will see you later.